and welcome to Goose Live. I am your host, Charlie Stivers. And in today's episode, you guys want to check this out. If you want to escape the real world, jump into virtual reality and just have fun, explore, and see what this is all about. It's fascinating to see how far this has all come. If you maybe participate in any virtual reality events during lockdown or these random conferences or Zoom calls, you got to see where the metaverse is headed in virtual reality. The graphics are unreal and they're fun, and you can do so many things with it. So our guest today, we're going to have a great time just exploring virtual reality in the metaverse. Hang tight and we'll see you back here soon. All right, and we're back. And in today's episode, we are jumping into an unreal world virtual reality. And our guests are from Rhino XR Studios, and we're going to have fun with this. So let me do a proper introduction. This platform is designed for education, business, and entertainment purposes. Being in the virtual reality world saves time, saves money, and it's a great way to 10x a business, gain global exposure, be face-to-face with each other, and have fun while interacting. The worlds are hyper realistic. I'm super excited for you to see it. The avatars are created to look just like you and can be recognized for who you are. The distractions are not part of the avatar world, making the ability to learn, retain, and recall increases upwards as much as 70%. The use cases are impressive. So for events, trade shows, stages, speakers, you can hold a summit, teach a yoga class, have workshops, hold retreats, participate in concerts, visit galleries and libraries, or you can even watch a movie with family and friends from around the world. You can even climb a mountain, visit an aquarium. If you can dream this, they can bring it to life for you on the big screen and for the world to experience. So this is going to be a great experience, and we're going to just jump into it because they have so much to share with us. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Goose Live, Beverly and Robert.
Great to be here, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you. So I went on the tour the other day with Beverly, and I was blown away. I mean, if you even see the graphics behind all of us, it is impressive with how far virtual reality has come. So I'm gonna like take a back seat and also just soak this in with you guys. So however you guys want to jump in, just do maybe a brief intro about you guys and the company, and then we'll get into the meat of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Ladies
Yeah.
first.
I feel privileged here. I'm sandwiched in between two handsome guys. This is awesome. But
Oh,
now he changed it.
There we go. Yes, that's a little better.
It's an honor to be here, Charles, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And Robert and I kind of go back, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. And he first introduced me to this amazing world when I was looking to put butts in the seats because people weren't doing that anymore. And he showed me a way it could be done, and I was instantly sold. And so we started putting things together. We started doing events in here a month before lockdown, and the rest is history. And we're still here today, bigger, better, stronger, and joined forces with Rhino XR Studios. And Robert can share a little bit more about how that all came into being. But the place to be is virtual reality.
And Robert, you got the fun job, the creative officer, I think.
yeah, Chief Creative Officer. I was going to label myself as the Chief Technical Officer, but I realized that I didn't want to hold that whole world on my shoulders. So I said I want to be more creative with what I'm doing. So I got more freedom with what I'm doing. But so going back, how I got here was I was terrible at marketing online, and I didn't know Web3 was going to be the next iteration of the internet. And I was already looking at, well, how can you be in, online, but as an avatar, right? So then that brought me into the virtual reality of things, and I just started learning it. I started, digging into it, diving into it. Didn't know that I was going to be an actual world builder in here, but yeah. So here I am. I'm, some of these images behind us is some of the worlds that I've created inside the platform.
Excellent. And I mean, can you guys give us a background about the company and a little bit how you started and the opportunities you see and the solutions that you're providing?
Yeah, so going back when we first started, we started just developing the worlds and stuff, and our business was actually called Digital Business International, and then it morphed into another partner that we brought in, Don LaPlume, which now it's called Rhino XR Studios, and we needed to collaborate more to bring in more and have it set up as a professional company. So now we're with Rhino XR Studios, we have an umbrella where we're focusing on e-commerce in the metaverse as well as education. So we're developing, worlds for enterprise accounts for like schools and stuff like that, private schools. We're working with companies that deal in the blockchain and NFTs. And they just, the thing is right now is the golden opportunity and time that people are looking at how to create and build in the metaverse. I mean, as Zuckerberg, coined the phrase of metaverse, and it got a lot of attention, but the metaverse has been around for many years and the metaverse started. So, but here we are, we help companies and private individuals, as well as speakers, anybody that wants to get on stage and do something different and not have all that stress on trying to plan an event that they have this huge expense on. So we're really focused. We do needs assessments with our clients, and from that we develop exactly what they're looking for. But today we're going to talk about how we do events in the metaverse, and we just want to share that with everybody because we think this is going to be the next not necessarily the next big thing, but I think it's going to definitely change the way that we do live events, because people are looking at more effective and efficient ways of doing events, in the space. So here we are.
Yeah, well, let's jump into it. The cool thing about this is we don't need any kind of special goggles or anything like that, and it's so realistic. So I'm super excited for you guys to share, and we can walk around in the metaverse with you. So I think you guys can figure out the controls on how to share your screen.
Yep.
I think so.
I'm gonna let Beverly share her
Who's
screen,
driving?
please.
Okay.
Okay, so do I have to go in the settings to find the share screen? Is that where we go?
I think it's right there at present.
Present. All right. Let me go share screen and see where it takes me. Okay. Enable. Here we go. I think we're there.
And I'm adding. There we go. Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. So this is kind of where it all begins here. So you can see that there's seats available. We've got the big screen up here. There's, that screen is able to go up and down, which is kind of cool. The stage has all kinds of different lighting. So let's just say you're an entertainer and you get, you're a band up there and you want all the great stuff. So Robert just jumped in, and so it's a welcome, right?
Gosh.
So you can see our avatars actually look hyper realistic, right? So that you can tell that we want to look like human beings, not creatures from the dark lagoon, because I think a lot of people think that, whoa, this is just a game. So all you're going to see is comic book characters, but we take things more serious than that. That's why we will teach you how to create your avatar, and you can do this in 10 to 15 minutes and have that avatar go wherever you want to go, right? So Robert's showing some of the different emojis that happen, and we've got a control panel that has all kinds of different things on it. So if you want to move around, you can do that. And even if you want to dance. So the nice thing is you can dance in here, right? You can clap your hands. Right. So when you are on stage, people can clap. So your audience can, meet you in that direction.
Yeah, we'll have to transition to maybe another room or environment where we can see the avatars a little bit better, but I think we'll get there.
Yeah, so
But this is
let's walk forward. Let me kind of take us over where we are in the event over here, where the chairs are. So what makes it easy is on the back of the chairs. All we have to do is a little click, and the avatar sits down. So what you can see behind me actually is a place where you can actually do a trade show,
trade show. Yeah.
right? So hit the space bar, I stand back up, and let's go ahead and walk back over here to where this trade show is and watch as the videos start to come on. So each one of these booths will have a video that portrays what's going on with who it is that's in this booth, right? And each one of these can be different. You'll also have your information on the posters and everything here, right? And you can talk in world here, so there is conversation inside, and you will be able to communicate without a lot of noise like you do in most expos where you're talking over everyone. In here, you'll be able to have a more intimate conversation, yet still be involved with all the activity and what's going on inside the space, right? So
Very cool. So each screen could be, a different speaker, even a commercial,
yeah.
teaser, be
Yeah.
creative as you want.
And you can turn this, into a walk-in website. So rather than getting lost, in the Google world of insanity with the billions of websites that are out there, if you don't pay to be on that front page, you get lost in the circus, right? And how many of us really are savvy when it comes to doing those websites. Well, in here, now it's personalized. When you give someone the link to come in, they're going to be able to see your website. It's a walk-in website, and then it will take them where you want to direct them, whether it's to a buy page, to a visit page, to your regular website. They can reach you even faster and simpler in this way and have a fun time doing it, right? And then they can also check out the other people that are available. So, what we're looking to is creating communities. So, this is just one little piece of what we do in the metaverse to create these communities. And they're trusted communities because we work with genres where all the parts and pieces begin to come together so that when you come into our platform, the Rhino XR Studio, that you're coming into a vented place where you're not going to have to really be concerned about someone taking you for a ride because we are working with trusted communities and trusted businesses. So just kind of put your mind at ease a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got someone commenting. Thanks, Jessica. This is really neat. Um, and Jessica's actually in the event space, so I'm sure she's very impressed with the other opportunities in the event world that businesses and entrepreneurs can tap into.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So Beverly, you should walk over closer to the stage. You can see all the stuff that we, for far as like celebration tools, we have the ability to basically run the whole stage as like it's in a real expo, right? So we have controls for lights, we have controls for cameras. We can stream this out to other channels and stuff, similar to what we're doing right here, right now. But it's very interactive. Again, it gives a sense of virtual presence when you're in a space like this. You're not stuck in the squares, and it gives a little bit of freedom. Well, it gives more freedom to the person in the avatar to walk around and actually have conversations inside the space. We also have spatial audio, which allows the avatars, when they get closer together, to hear each other better. And then if they walk far apart, then the audio of their voices actually dissipate down, so you don't hear them at a far distance.
If there's a participant that you recognize their avatar, can you engage with each individual as well?
Yep. So we have a
Yeah.
social tool. There's a social tool in our app where you can connect with people nearby. Actually, go to the left, Beverly. Right there. There you go. So this social tool right here allows you to teleport close to the individual. You can actually mute them if, say, you're in a group of people and maybe all of them around you are too loud. You can actually mute them, so that way you can still have a undivided attention conversation with another avatar. And this is another way, to locate, your friends inside the world. So say, there's a bunch of maps that are open and you're like, hey, I'm trying to find where you're at. You can just go into your friends list and then hit the teleport, and you would basically teleport at arm lengths away from them. Yeah, go ahead and hit the teleport. You'll actually go into the stage.
So you can't read that too much, but are you saying you can voice chat as well as text chat?
Yeah, we have
Yes.
text chat as well. Yep. So if you
Wow.
click on the chat right there, Beverly, we can actually have a conversation in world. So I'll just type hello. Oh. So basically, everybody that has their chat open will see who is speaking with each other. Yep. So
Yep,
I just
there we
saw that
go.
on my side, and I'll just say hello back. There we go. There you go. Yep.
So that's one way you can do it with the chat. And then down here at the bottom, you see the microphone, so you can turn the microphone on, you can turn the microphone off. And that's how you chat in world, voice to voice.
Wow. So this could even, on the simplest format for businesses, they can do, instead of a Zoom conference or Google Meet, they could meet here and present and discuss, come up with the ideas and all that stuff. I mean, is that versatile?
It
Yep.
is. Just use your imagination, because what you can do in the real world, the brick and mortar world, as we call it, is it's available, and so you can you just do more in here, right? And your interaction becomes as if it were in the real space, because in essence it really is in the real space, right? And you're sitting in front of your computer, you're immersed into it, and you don't need the heavy goggles set to immerse yourself in it to feel as though you're jointly there. So when Robert and I are in here, in a conversation, and we're not on a Zoom or we're not in a live stream, it's just in world here. The conversation becomes real as if we were side by side, in the human element, so to speak. And let's talk a little bit about that human element, Charlie, as a lot of people think that we're taking away from that, which really in essence we're not. I'm going to stop my screen for a minute. When you bring the humanness together, like we are here but we're in little squares, right? But we're still here socializing, which is totally awesome with the technology. So when you're in the avatar world, it's an even closer bond because there's no separation at all in there. So we're bringing that element together. Your brain, there's a lot of psychology that works with the brain. The neurotransmitters are saying this is a real life person that's right here beside me. And that's kind of where it differs from a Zoom meeting and other types of interaction. So to be able to have that connectedness and feel as though you're really there is what makes virtual reality a reality in its own essence. And something that I found really humorous when I first started in here and started working with people and bring them into events, that they were afraid to be on a stage. Now, how many in the audience here, come on, be truthful, are afraid to get on stage for whatever reason? I mean, some people don't even put their picture on camera in a Zoom because they feel uncomfortable, and it's okay. When they walk into the virtual reality space and we put them up on stage, Charlie, I'm telling you, their confidence level goes off the charts. They start talking, and you almost literally have to go up on stage, interrupt them, say, hey, thanks for, joining us. Your information was great, whatever, and move them down off the stage because they lose track of time. They are in their element of expressing what their passions are. So, if you're learning and want to be able to be a stage speaker, virtual reality is a great place to get your confidence level back and be a part of that. And then when you go out and really begin to speak on stages in what we call, again, that brick and mortar world, you have that confidence level because you've done it so many times. That cell memory is there, and you don't feel that consciousness, conscientious, or static, like, oh gosh, I'm afraid to be on stage. It just disappears. So there's a lot of advantages to working and being a part of this virtual reality space that will make a difference in your life.
Yeah, you can kind of feel that confidence already just being a part of it, and it lessens those barriers when you're in front of whatever hundreds of people, and so that's really cool to
Right.
think of it that way.
And summits have become a really big thing. And it started out where you'd have maybe 5 or 10 speakers, and now it's like people are having like 100 speakers, and it takes a week to get through it. That's a lot, and it's a huge commitment to be a part of that. Well, if you think about it and start bringing your summits back to life and in that virtual reality space, and have a small event so that you can really participate. And instead of looking at a blank wall having your conversation, you're actually on stage looking at people who are looking at you, and they can interact because you saw where Robert put his hand up, you can clap, that type of thing. Now you're at like a real live event in that virtual reality space. And when the show is over, you can interact with your audience that was there to see you. You can have personal one-on-one interaction with them, where on a Zoom summit, when they click the button, everybody's gone. So it's more personalized that way.
Mhm. And then, so from the business perspective, let's say you are like selling tickets and want to build your list. Do you guys have all that back office capability?
Yes. Yes, we do. And so we have a ticketing system that is actually a part of the whole entertainment, so that when you advertise for for what you're doing, they click on that ticket, it takes them to a registration, gets all their information, and then it takes their credit card. And when the show is over, you get paid, right? So that's always a fun thing to do. And we have then captured their phone numbers and their email addresses and all of that. So that gets turned over to the person who did the event.
Okay, then how about if there's, let's say it's a crypto conference and there's different vendors and they have an attendee visit their booth. Can they click on anything or opt in, so to speak, to share their contact info or request info?
Exactly. So, like when you saw on where the trade show was, there's banners there that are all clickable. So it'll take them to a buy page, it'll take them to their website, it'll take them to a whatever page where they want them to be directed to. If they have a freebie, so it's a lead capture page, it could lead to that. Then they get all of their information. And the events stay open. Even after the event is over, that space is still available for people to come and visit. So now each one of those booths has that, like I mentioned, a walk-in website, and all those clickables are available so that when anybody comes in after the fact, just checking it out, it's like, oh, I wonder what this was. And they click and they go there and they're seeing all these different, booths that have information. I believe we have availability, and Robert can, maybe talk a little bit about this. So where they can actually have maybe like a doorbell where they can click and then it notifies you that someone is in your booth, or you can jump in and say, "Hey, welcome to my booth." And they're going to like, "Oh my gosh, where did you come from?" Right?
That's neat.
So,
And Jessica asked another good question, like how many people can attend the VR events?
Robert, I'll let you take this one.
The best answer is as much as a server can handle. But yeah, that's a great question. So the way we have it set right now, because we just launched our new event system, so we're looking for split testers that come in and test it, so we can, meter up where we need to, pull back on some of the world design. But straight to Jessica's question, anything over 20 avatars, we will start getting charged a cost to our servers. So right at 20 plus, that's where we would have to create a service fee for setting up the event. So everything would be, any events over 20 people, we would have to contract with that vendor or that client, and then we would just let them know, hey, this is this is what it would cost to have this many people in world. Now, as far as the world itself, what we've done so it doesn't crash people's computers and stuff is we'll set the world to have like at a certain amount of people in the world at one time. Okay, what that means is we create instances, right? So think of like when you're looking at a double mirror, you keep seeing yourself in like going infinity, right? Well, that's the same thing what we're doing inside the space, where when we say we set it for 25 people for each space or in each instance, what happens when the 26th person comes into the event, it creates another space, which then they would be the only one in there, but they would still see who's on the stage. They would see whoever's like on the megaphone. They would see whoever's like the main entertainment in the world. So if they don't lose out and say, well, where's everybody at? Where's the entertainment? They would still see what everybody, all the other avatars would see as well. It just, they would be in that space. So that's why we created the social system to where people can say, oh, I'm in world, where are you at? And they'd say, okay, I'll be right there. And if you can't get in that world, then you would say, just come teleport to me, and then you'd be together in the same instance as your friend or whoever you invited into the space.
All right. Well, let's pivot a little bit. If you can take us on another
Yep,
tour or an experience, and give me just like 30 seconds and for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
absolutely.
All righty.
All right. So, part of crypto digital assets are NFTs and the metaverse, which, is really cool because, I say in crypto, uh, curiosity or crypto rewards curiosity, but NFTs and the metaverse reward creativity. So definitely this has a big part in, being creative and expanding your community. What else do you guys have to share with us?
Well, you ready to go for another dive into the virtual reality space?
Let's see it.
All right.
And as Beverly's loading us in, just to speak to that, Charlie, the thing is with the metaverse, there's so much information out there with the blockchain, NFT, smart contracts, and stuff like that, and cryptocurrency. Once people start utilizing the metaverse, they'll understand all that technology and how it works. It's really was designed and built in segments, but everything that you're talking about is part of the metaverse. And how we're using NFTs is just to secure people's content, right? So if someone wanted to build a world, and it's their custom design world, we could make that an NFT for them so that they always own it. And if they wanted to go and resell their world to other people, say, "Yeah, I really like your world. How do I get this?" They'd say, "Well, buy it as an NFT." And they'd have a copy of it. So the NFTs are a great way to secure the artist's creativity and to make sure that that's authorized, and so we really pride ourselves on it as an NFT program as well. And it's actually also giving back to the creators to make sure they get credit for their work. And so we could literally create everything inside the world as an NFT. And then when we go get a contract, we would say, "Hey, we would like to buy your NFT so we can build this world for a client." And then they know where it went, what was paid, and who owns it. And they could say, "Well, I only want to create," maybe they designed a house, right? Maybe they only want to offer 50 of them and have scarcity in it, right? So the value of that world keeps going up, or that NFT keeps going up. That's just another way to create value and an income stream with using NFTs in the metaverse.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting about crypto and NFTs is as we are all about onboarding new users because we think it's very important and people really need to discover this because that's where it's all headed. But there's different experiences that just attract new users and onboard all of us in different ways. So I think as person being in this 3 4 years, I appreciate that angle as well. So Beverly, why don't you let us know? Looks like we're at a theater now.
Yeah, we are. Now, this is a building, that could be used for other build outs or, if necessary. But this gal is a producer of movies. And so she created this for a place to have her movies shown, right? And as you saw outside, we had weather. So we have the ability to change the weather. I don't know if you guys could hear the sound, but it definitely sounds like a real storm, So we could do different times of day as well and have the outside arena going on where you could actually be outside in the event and have it done by moonlight if you're doing like say a networking down by the ocean or something. So in here you can see it running across. This is the movies, so these would be you know, any kind of movie. So we could make different style of movie shows, or we could actually turn this into, say, a library where people were launching their books. Because we do have a lot of authors that come in here or speakers, and their events could be up here, and you could buy tickets to those events and have a meet and greet down in this lobby area, and then we'll follow Robert as we go upstairs. You'll see there's going to be a lot of spaces up there where you can do individual movies. You can do different events. You could have a gallery. We talk about NFTs. So we could have a gallery of artwork that is actually up here in the form of NFTs. And look at all this real estate along these walls that you could use
Absolutely.
sponsorships, people advertising, so you can really learn how to monetize in here like billboards, right? And then you've got all these rooms where all the space is. But I want to take you back into one of the theaters where you'll actually see a difference from the little stage you saw in the first one, which was just basically interior. This is more of a custom build. And so it has interior, exterior, and you can deck things out to your liking. So
So we're getting ready to walk into the
cinema.
cinema. Look at that.
Yeah. So again, we go back to that hyper realistic. We want to, we want you to feel comfortable, but we also want you to have an experience. So as we're in here, so I'm not sure if you can hear. Can you guys hear the sound?
Let's see.
I can't hear it.
Okay. So it's a country western song playing, right? So if I want to do the dance, our avatars again can dance in here.
Nice.
And so we like to
I
have
see you on
fun.
stage there, Robert.
Yeah.
Would you run up there or fly or teleport like you were saying?
Well, see, let me go join him up there. I can walk and dance at the same time. How about that, right?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
this
impressive.
not only doing business and education, you got to make it fun. You have to make it fun.
Yeah, because I guess back in the day, this virtual reality was a little cringy, but now the likeness, the sharpness, and the detail is so impressive.
It's unreal.
Yeah, and I can see brands really wanting to, embrace this just as another way to build community. You know, have events that you can not have to plan as much for, because we've all done live events and oh my gosh, the planning for that is ridiculous, where this maybe you can alternate this one year and a live event the next. And then also, can it be evergreen?
Uh, when you mean by evergreen, meaning like it's always automated, it's always running, or what do you mean by evergreen? Because I know what evergreen videos are, but when it comes to evergreen metaverse, you got to be a little more descriptive with that.
So like you were saying earlier, maybe you could use it instead or in addition to your website and have different areas that you can click on. So, more interactive website, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess it'd be more of like the access, how you access into the metaverse. What I can say right now, the way we have it set up, and there will be different ways to access, but it comes down to the server itself, how we set that up with each client. But there's platforms out there. They call it WebGL, right? And those are platforms that are just run from websites. But what that does is it limits you on the functionality of how you can interact with the metaverse. And what I mean by that is if you want to be totally immersive, like actually get like a VR headset and be totally immersed into it, you're not going to be able to do that with like a WebGL, like a website style metaverse. You'll have to have like a downloadable client that can run that software. So with our platform, our event system has the ability to do PC. We can actually bring Macs in, but we're using a virtual PC cloud to bring them in. And then with the VR side, we actually have the software built into the application where you can run a VR headset. And we also have, it's called, I call it motion capture, but we're utilizing a Connect Azure Microsoft camera where it's like a webcam, but it's designed for the metaverse, or for motion capture. So what it does is when you flip on the camera, it actually captures your actual movements in real life and puts it and projects it onto the avatar inside the metaverse world. So I hope that kind of answered your question on Evergreen. Ours is we're going to make it eventually where all you have to do is do a username and password and log in, and then you'll be able to use the application from our website.
Okay. Is it appropriate maybe to talk a little bit about your business model and,
Yeah.
from big brands down to a solopreneur, someone who sees this as a viable way to expand their brand or launch their own event?
Yeah, why Robert talks about that, I'm going to take us into another world that looks
Okay.
familiar to like what's behind us to give an idea so he can share what that model is all about and we'll just run around in some more space.
Yeah. So while Beverly's raising that up, so our business model is we're focused on building a community first, and then asking what the community wants, right? Because a lot of platforms out there have spent millions of dollars building this technology out, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, where's everybody? Right? They built thinking that if they build it that they'll all come to the space, like the field of dreams, right? It's a little different how we're doing it. What we do is we first build a community, and we ask them, what are you looking for? What's going to be fit for purpose for your business, right? And then we design and put all the functionality in the space that works for them. And then we also use the crypto. We're going to be integrating cryptocurrency in, so that way we can actually run an actual economy inside the metaverse space, right? Because there's going to be lots of businesses that are going to be pouring in because they want that foot traffic in front of their business as well. So we've built everything from universities to storefronts to galleries to libraries. I mean, you name it, event halls, event spaces, concert halls. We're literally building everything that will be COVID, whatever the next COVID's going to be. It's going to be COVID proof, where there should be no reason why you have to shut your front door to your business, unless you're, unless you have to sell them a hamburger, right? But even that, I mean, we're going to have it where we could have ghost kitchens out there where, people can make up menus, and we build the whole front store, experience inside the metaverse. And then we just put up little kitchens all over the place that are going to be compliant to any more, COVID, regulations and stuff like that. But we're not using COVID as a crutch. But I tell you what, not to go down that rabbit hole, but just to touch base on it real quick, COVID did some good things. What it did is it created a lot of new technologies out there to get around that type of issue, right? And we were just, the metaverse wasn't ready, when COVID hit, and people were not ready for this. It went to, just on the restaurant business, it went to curbside delivery, and that's what they did to patch up that hole. But it still disrupted the economy. Some companies did very well with that, but a lot of them did not. And the first 3 months of COVID, there was a reduction in the sales force of all food distribution by 50%. That was a huge disruption, and think of all the businesses that had to figure out how to pay their employees. Well, here's another way. We can just create a new economy that, fills in the gaps that's missing in the real world. And I always say that the metaverse is ever so forgiving when it comes to creating new things. I mean, you can test it out, try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, okay, let's not do that again. Let's do something else. But doing that in the real world, that has, some, it creates a lot of discontent and I don't want to go down the negative road on, but the real world is not so forgiving like the online worlds are. You can literally just shut down the button, it's done, and okay, let me go figure something else out and then turn it back on. The real world, when you go build a building, you just built a building. How do you get people through the front door? So
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I was meaning earlier about. So I can see your distinction with events. Yes, they're not evergreen, but a metaverse world or your branded metaverse could be uh, permanent or live and up all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'd look at it as an add-on to what you're currently doing, right? So,
Right.
if we could stay on the restaurant as an example, the restaurants are always needing to, manage. I mean, they don't have that much to play with the revenue that they make. They got like a couple percent up or down, and that's it. If they don't figure that out, they're usually going out of business. So when it comes to the metaverse, it would just give them, I think, another way to do a loyalty program. It would give them another way to get other orders. It give them another way to create new menus that they can try out. But most important is to give another experience that, because maybe someone doesn't feel comfortable going down to the restaurant, being around a lot of people. A lot of people have that stigma still, from coming out of COVID. Here's another way that you could still create that ambiance at that restaurant. And then all they're doing is like doing like a pizza delivery. They get it delivered in 10 minutes, and they're like, man, look at this. I'm at the restaurant, but I'm in virtual reality. I'm hanging out with my community. I'm meeting new friends around the world, and I'm eating my favorite pizza from my favorite restaurant. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, or even being at a virtual event and you have a way to order locally and or have a drink with each other. But and I've seen those before, and they're fun. Um, so we have a little bit less than 10 minutes. Any last experiences that you want to show? But we'll obviously continue the conversation.
no, I think we pretty much have seen, some of the opportunities and what is available. So just remember, if you can dream it up here, we can get that expression and we can bring it to life on the big screen. And, as far as what businesses this is designed for, it's designed for anything and everything. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so to say, well, my business isn't set for this, I'd have to beg to differ on that, because you can do business anywhere you want and however you desire. And the virtual reality space and the whole metaverse space is a space to where you can begin to do business more efficiently, more effectively, a lot less stress, and multiply what your recurring revenue comes in. You were saying, like evergreen events, so like the theater, okay? Those movies are going to play. All you got to do is come in, check out the movie you want, go in. As soon as you go in that room, it starts up. You bring all your friends in, everybody goes in, and you're sitting here eating popcorn, talking during the movie and having a conversation and watching and laughing. And when the movie's over, you can share, what you liked about the movie, what you didn't. So there's so many avenues of things that can happen in here. Just use your imagination and take back that creativity that's been lost in our world. Everything has to be this way, has to be, has to be, has to be. It's like, be creative in your own juices and let your mind expand. Play the pretend world like you did when a kid, and now your pretend world can come to life here. So
So, are you using any of the other technologies that are big buzzwords right now? Primarily artificial intelligence, but we also have augmented reality.
right. And all of that can be incorporated in here. So you can have AI in a bot that would be in a conversation, with you, like at your booth. So if you didn't want to be there, but you wanted to have a bot having that conversation, that could happen. Right. But one thing I want to say is, we do not put AI data collectors in our worlds, because your intellectual property is your intellectual property, and we honor that. So we are not going to spy on you or anything that goes on during your events. So rest assured. And one other thing that we do that other platforms don't is, if you're purchasing property in here, we have an asset protection program, which is totally unheard of. So no matter what investment is that you've created, you're then able to get all that money back within 12 years and still own the property. So I see Jessica's got a question.
She just
Oh, she's
a
just a
very nice
statement.
comment. Yes.
Yes. Well, Jessica, we're glad you joined us today, and thank you for your interaction. And we'll see you in the metaverse, eh?
So, and you bring up a really good point, and sorry to cut you off, Robert, but yeah, for companies that, are, ticketed, so to speak, or token gated in this case as well, IP and confidential conversations. So that can be done easily.
It can, and we can actually give them their own private server, which then gives them that much more tight protection as well.
Okay. Sorry, Robert, go ahead.
I was just going to make a comment in the closing here, is that especially with Rhino XR Studios, we are focused on family-friendly spaces and experiences that really promote commerce and education. So we're looking at all ages to be in the space. We're looking at building out Megaverse to be this huge economy that will always keep people, moving forward and upward with whatever they're doing, right? And we're focused, Mega is big. Verus stands for Latin for being positive. So we're calling it the Great Positive. So Megaverse, not Megavirus, Megaverse. Which we really want to build this to a huge spectacular space. And a lot of people say, well, Robert, this is like a game. I say, oh, sorry, excuse me, it's not a game, it's a gathering. So we're here to build a community and just teach people how to utilize the metaverse in a leadership way, right? So we are looking for leaders to be leaders in this industry. We're looking for people that can build communities and have fun, and we all can be in this together and be positive together. So that's our mission within Rhino XR Studios, and how we came about with our rendition of the metaverse. And there's only one metaverse. Everybody says, oh, all these metaverse, that there's one metaverse, but there's many platforms on the metaverse. So if there's other metaverse companies out there that want to bridge with us, we're all open to do that, because that's what we want to do. Because we don't want to be the only one out there. We want to bridge to other metaverse businesses out there to keep spreading this fantastic technology. And a lot of people just they have a little hesitance with it. They're like, ooh, I don't know about this. This sounds like I'm going down a rabbit hole and I can't get out. It's to understand how to utilize this platform for a fit for purpose, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, yeah, just totally embraces the creativity and that element to expand. So, and no one does it better that I've seen than these different crypto communities. So I can definitely see how they can tie into this and, be more interactive, create more engagement, possibly even and share it with their friends or invite them into another experience. Because like I said, we just all have this different journey.
Absolutely.
And it is about a journey, and life is a journey. So make the best of it and enjoy it. Life's too short not to enjoy every moment and every aspect of it.
Yeah, and then I'm going to share a way to contact you guys. So I'm going to share yours, Beverly, since here we go. So if you want to find out more information about Rhino XR Studios, you can type that in, and then that way it will take you to their main website. So real quick, talk about the avatar part. That was kind of neat. I looked through the website.
Yeah, to get a hyper realistic avatar like the one you saw Robert and I in, it's readyplayer.me. And so basically it'll walk you right through the steps where you just take a picture, or you can add a picture you already have of a straight on facial, right? And if you have glasses, better to take them off and then put glasses back on once you dress your avatar, because it'll get a clear picture. You can change your eye color. You can shape your face a little bit more if you want. You can put what kind of hair you want, what kind of clothes, the color of your skin. All of this can be happening. So within 5 to 15 minutes, you can have your own avatar that can go in any of the platforms. So Ready Player Me's go all over the place. So you'll be recognized in all the worlds that you go into, right? And so it's pretty simple. It didn't used to be that simple, but it's pretty simple these days.
Mm-hmm. And I think maybe we can close on this real quick too. But you guys partnered up with Unreal Engine for a lot of your graphics work?
This is where the bills that you're seeing, the latter bills were built on Unreal Engine 5.0, which is the best one
Gosh.
that's out there right now, right, Robert?
Yep. Yeah. So we use Unreal Engine, we use Unity, we use other platforms as well, but Unreal Engine is our prime, uh, developing engine that we build all of Megaverse in. So it's a fantastic. It's getting better and better every day. So it's just fantastic, and it's becoming the industry standard for Metaverse development as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Beverly. Thank you, Robert. And we love this tour. And it's going to be exciting to see where you guys go with this and where we can all go as business owners and attendees too.
There we
Thank
go.
you for having us on
Teamwork
your show.
makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely.
Thank
All
you,
right. Well,
Charlie.
we'll talk to you in the metaverse soon. And thank you for joining in Goose Live today. And catch us on E360 TV and search this on Achieve TV.